Coming up on Good Morning Waverly, a new spin on recycling. See what some people are doing to get more out of what they throw away.
And apart from one snowstorm, it's been a very dry winter. See how Waverly's snowless streets are benefiting more than its residents.
And it may be dry, but the last few days have been freezing cold. See if there's any relief in sight. Coming up next on Good Morning Waverly.
Happy Friday and Good Morning Waverly.
Good morning, Waverly. I'm Shelby Granath.
And I'm Kelsey Bemis. Thanks for joining us this morning. Let's start off with a look at your current weather. Temperatures outside are slightly below 20 degrees. Shouldn't see any precipitation right now. There is a slight chance as we continue through the day, about 40% there. Wind is at about 13 miles per hour, speeding up throughout the day. We'll see our high right above 20 around the noon hour before it's going to cool off as we head into tomorrow and tonight. The weekend will stay about the same tomorrow, like we said. It'll be about 21 degrees. Now the wind is going to speed up. We will see temperatures as low as negative 15 degrees from that wind there, up to 13 miles per hour. So we definitely need to be careful with the wind as we have been lately. It's nothing unusual. I guess it's what we're used to. So
the temperatures are going up, but the wind is going to pick up.
Exactly.
So.
It's not going to feel like they're going up.
Okay.
So
thank you, Kelsey. Barack Obama was inaugurated at the 57th inauguration ceremonies on Monday. An estimated 800,000 people were there to witness President Obama be sworn in for the second time. Wartburg student Beth McAtee was among those in the crowd. She won 2 tickets for the event from an online raffle from Representative Bruce Braley.
Oh, it was really exciting. It was awesome to be there. It was just this energy of people. I was pretty far, but I couldn't, with my bare eyes, I couldn't see him, but my camera can zoom pretty far, so I got some pictures of him.
Waverly will be welcoming a new fast food chain into town. A Jimmy John's will be opening near the Wartburg campus around the 1st of March. The owner of the sandwich shop is Wartburg's Vice President for Administration, Gary Grace. He says although he will have the title of owner, he is still planning to be working closely with his employees.
I want to learn exactly how the place runs from the inside out, and so at least at the front end I'm going to be involved. I'll be in there slapping mayonnaise on sandwiches, and at least initially I'll be right in there with my Jimmy John's cap on and saying hello to everybody.
I think Jimmy John's will be very successful here.
I do, and like we were discussing earlier, it's right across from Subway, so there will be that interesting competition there, I guess you could say.
Jimmy John's delivers.
It does deliver, and I think the hours are going to be a little later, so we'll have to see, how that plays out, I guess.
Right. With little snow so far this winter, city officials say they have saved money when it comes to running plows. Waverly Public Works Superintendent Brian Sullivan says that although the city may be saving money when it comes to plows, workers are getting paid less in overtime. He says the only time they have encountered large amounts of snow this year was during a blizzard in December.
Right now, currently, we've expended about $9,000, and without looking back, we probably have done by this time, depending on the year, maybe close to 20,000.
Over 200 students will make music together this weekend. The top area singers are featured in Wartburg's Meister Singers Honor Choir Festival. Selected performers include students from both Denver and WSR high schools. The concert will also feature Wartburg Choir, Ritter Corps, and the St. Elizabeth Chorale. The concert will be held Saturday in Newman Auditorium at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $5 at the door.
One Waverly man urges the city to fund a new project for veterans. Dwayne Little spoke to the City Council on Monday evening about the Waverly Area Veterans Post. The new project is part of an ongoing campaign for a state-of-the-art facility. It will feature a museum, a memory of pride wall, and banquet rooms. According to Little, the budget for this project would cost just over $600,000.
A group of students celebrated the legacy of one civil rights activist. West Cedar Elementary students remembered Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. with a trip to the Waverly Public Library. The Wartburg Chapel Choir was there to sing and recite Dr. King's famous "I Have a Dream" speech. King became a civil rights activist early in his career. He was present for the signing of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. We would like to congratulate local high schoolers on advancing to the state large group speech contest next Saturday. WSR had a total of 80 students qualify for the tournament.
Janesville will take 14 students to state, and Denver has 26 moving on. The students will be in Dubuque on February 2nd, where they will once again compete to move on to the all-state level. Coming up next, we'll tell you how you can enjoy the winter weather this weekend with Waverly's first Snowfest.
And we'll look past the Snowfest weather to see if the bitter cold will be ending anytime soon. I'll have your full forecast coming up right after the break. Welcome back to Good Morning Waverly. Behind me here we have the time-lapse of the weather that we saw here in Waverly yesterday. As you can see, not much precipitation, not much rain or anything there, so we can be thankful for that, but can we expect it as we carry on our weather into the weekend? Outside, it's currently just below 20 degrees, so it is freezing out there, so do be careful when you're driving to work. And with that, we actually have a video to show you of what we saw yesterday of a man in Minnesota. There, as you can see, the snow is just evaporating as he throws it into the air. So we do have those cold temperatures, which will continue into our day and throughout our weekend, unfortunately, as you can see here again in slow motion. As we continue through today, we'll see our high at about 21 degrees right around noon. It is going to continue to cool down 11 degrees around 3 p.m. Tonight, it'll cool down even more. -3 degrees. Wind will start to pick up. It's going to continue into tomorrow, so just beware of those low temperatures from the wind. 21 degrees tomorrow, slightly above 20. Like I said, wind chill values as low as -15 degrees. We can see there 5 to 13 mile per hour winds. And then it's going to just continue to be cold as we continue through our weekend. Sunday, we'll see a high of 30 degrees, about a 60% chance of some snow/rain mixtures that day. So be careful as we're below freezing temperatures that day. Monday will increase slightly. We'll get above that freezing level, but it's still going to have that wintry mix of some rain and snow, so nothing too pleasant to expect there. As we continue through Tuesday, see a high of 41 degrees, so our temperatures are going to increase, but we're still going to have that precipitation Wednesday. Thankfully, that'll slow down, and it looks like we'll see some sun for that day, so we can only be thankful for that. I guess it's going to still stay cold, but it should be some nice, I guess, sun.
Well, it sounds like it'll be good weather for Snowfest this weekend.
It does, yep.
So the event is called the Waverly Snowfest, and it's the first time the town has put it on.
Tonight there will be sweets and stargazing at 7 at the Red Cedar Park.
Then tomorrow morning there will be ice fishing by the Duck Pond by Waverly Light and Power. Make sure to bring your fishing license to that.
On Saturday night there is a candlelight walk at the Quick Start Trail. Joining us now is Tab Ray from the Leisure Service Department of Waverly to tell us about the event. Thanks for joining us, Mr.
Morning.
Ray. So since this is the first year of the event, can you kind of explain why you guys decided to put it on?
We do a candlelight ski event every year, and another group wanted to do another event called snow golf. So instead of having 2 events, we decided, well, let's figure out some other things. So we got about 5 events and made it a weekend. So we made Snowfest.
Okay. And we were talking earlier about the lack of snow. How is that affecting the event this year?
Well, pretty negatively, unfortunately. Like tonight's Sweets and Stars has been canceled because of the low wind chills. We have a policy that you don't do an event if the wind chill's under 0, and ice fishing is still going on. The candlelight ski has turned into a candlelight walk for tomorrow night. Snow golf isn't going to happen because of no snow, and snowshoeing is not going to happen because of no snow. So we're going to keep on going this year, and we're going to try everything again next year.
Okay. Now, even though you have these changes, what can people kind of expect from the event?
Well, I think it's going to be a wide variety of a family weekend. We already had 25 people signed up for tonight, unfortunately, and because I think that's going to be a really neat event in the future. The physics department here at Wartburg was going to do the astronomy stuff, and they were all excited about that. And then we had Boy Scouts that were going to make peach cobbler for people to eat while they were out there, plus a fire around there. So that was going to be a fun event. And then the rest of the events are just exposure to different ways to do outside recreation in the winter. The ice fishing, the snowshoeing, the skiing Saturday night, just a variety of things that are all family friendly.
Does the event cost anything?
It does if you, the snowshoes were going to cost $5 to rent. The ice fishing doesn't cost anything. Donations were going to be accepted for the cobbler, just for the materials. Snow golf was going to be kind of our fundraiser. It was going to be $40 a team but it was going to be a fun event, and all the proceeds would go toward the water trail project.
Okay. Can you explain what that project is a little bit?
We're working on becoming a certified water trail for the Cedar River, which means we have to have places for canoes and boats to come in and come out. It's not going to be for motor boats, it's going to be for canoes, kayaks, that sort of thing, so that people can get in on the river someplace, float to a certain place, and then have facilities there, restrooms, parking, restaurants, those types of things, so that it'll be a safe and publicly visible place for canoes and kayaks.
How much work went into planning this event?
Well, we had a committee of about 6, and then they had some help themselves, and we started in probably October and met several times, and because for one thing we had to figure out a name, we didn't know what it was going to be called, and then started organizing each one of the events, and got so that we had it down pretty well, we thought, and then we were just waiting for snow.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And just a reminder of the schedule and everything that has been canceled. Tonight, Sweets and Stargazing has been canceled.
Correct.
But then tomorrow morning there is still the ice fishing, is that correct?
Okay. At this point, yes.
All right.
Okay, and don't forget to bring your fishing license if you are attending that.
And then the candlelight walk tomorrow night?
Yep, we're still good on that.
All right, on the Quick Start Trail. So coming
Thanks
up,
again.
it's called TerraCycle. See how some local residents are able to show off their creativity with just a little bit of recycling.
And see why one man was giving out free hugs in downtown Los Angeles. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to Good Morning Waverly. One Waverly group is working to turn trash into treasures through a project known as TerraCycle.
Although the project is only a couple years old, it is having a positive impact on the community. This week I found out just what TerraCycle is and how people can get involved. TerraCycle is a nationwide project started by a former Princeton student. The main mission of the project? To eliminate waste, one piece of trash at a time. Self-proclaimed Green Queen Joanna E. West brought TerraCycle to Waverly 2 years ago. She says it started after she and her family visited a store full of recycled materials.
I went on the website and saw that they were giving away money, and I thought, okay, we could use money for the schools. And they'd given away around $3.5 million at that point. And I thought, well, we could use the money for our schools.
For every item collected, the school is awarded 2 cents. In the 2 years TerraCycle has been in Waverly, it has raised impressive amounts.
At this point, we've raised about $2,000, and so that's a lot of chip bags and candy wrappers and items that we've collected.
There are 8 different items that can be dropped off at bins located around town. In addition to the main drop-off site at the Waverly Recycling Center, collection units are also located in schools and at the Waverly Palace Theater. EWS says people generally show an interest in TerraCycle due to an overall interest in the environment.
I would say they have a combined interest in helping out with the schools and also being green. Our family, we're down to about 6 pounds of garbage a week for a family of 5, so it's amazing.
EWS says it takes little work to achieve big results.
If every person in Waverly ate 5 bags of chips a month for a whole year and brought them in, it would be around $15,000 just with the chip brigade that we would make for our schools.
She also has one tip for how to get started.
I would say start with one thing. It's like any habit. It's just, get the list in front of you. We have lists available if you stop out here. Start with chip bags, and then the next week do your cheese, and the next week do, and so it's just starting.
All right, now, as we said there, she's kind of the green queen of Waverly, but she's also started this event with her daughter, who's a senior at WSR this year. She, when it started a couple years ago, she said she carried a bag of chips, a big bag, and made all the students in the cafeteria kind of deposit their chip bags. So it has been kind of an ongoing effort, a family effort, I guess you could say.
It's a great story, and in addition to asking people to TerraCycle, EWS said the group also needs volunteers to help with the project.
There are 3 different committees to sign up for. To find out more information on how to help out, email gohawksgogreen@gmail.com. Coming up, we'll have a look at what movies you can catch in theaters today.
And coming up in sports, the area schools were in action last week on the hardwood. I'll have all the results next in sports. Welcome back to Good Morning Waverly. The time is currently 6:51. On Tuesday, the Lady Go Hawks basketball team traveled to New Hampton to take on the Chickasaws. It was pretty promising for the Go Hawks early on, but New Hampton fought back, and by the end of the third, they were only down by 6. The Chickasaws comeback was too strong for the Go Hawks, however, and they would lose their first NEIC game by a final of 44-39. With that loss, the girls fall to 14-2 overall and 6-1 in conference play. WSR will try to add another win tonight as they travel to Olwine. Now, the boys from Waverly Shell Rock have been on a roll recently, and on Tuesday in New Hampton, they hope to continue their success. WSR led by 4 to 6 points for most of the game, but in the fourth quarter, they really pulled away and came out with a 60-45 victory. Clint Carlson was the leading scorer for the Yellow and Black as he recorded 23 points. With that win, the Go Hawks now have a 7-game win streak, and they sit at second in the NEIC. Waverly Shell Rock will put their win streak on the line tonight against Charles City at home. Check out Sports Night on Tuesday night for all those highlights. On Tuesday, the Janesville girls team hosted Northeast Hamilton. The Wildcats got off to a slow start, but they started connecting in the second quarter when they had a 16-10 lead, and they wouldn't let up. At halftime, Janesville was up 30-13. The second half would only get uglier for the Trojans as the Wildcats came out with a 61-35 victory. Brittany Hansen and Kendall Sorge each had 10 points for Janesville. With that win, the girls sit at 15-3 overall. This was also the 5th straight victory against Northeast Hamilton for the Janesville girls. The Wildcats will take on Clarksville tonight in a battle for the conference title. Janesville did beat Clarksville the first time around. On the boys' side, it was another close one for Janesville as they also took on Northeast Hamilton. Janesville started off strong as they led 7-3, and at the end of the first, they were up 15-13. It wasn't until the third quarter that the Trojans really took control of the game and took a 27-24 lead. The game was forced into overtime, and unfortunately, the Wildcats would not be able to produce a win as they fell by a final of 52-45. Chris Bright led the Janesville scorers with 20 points, and he also added 8 rebounds. With that loss, Janesville fell to 5-13 overall. Now some exciting news on the wrestling mats for Waverly Shell Rock. Last weekend, the WSR wrestler at 152 pounds, Spencer Derefield, earned his 100th career win. He also did it in an exciting way as he pinned Crestwood's Reed Ellingson in just 26 seconds. Derefield currently has 107 career wins, which ranks 21st all-time in Go Hawk history. And with the rest of the season and a whole year left, Spencer will most likely move up on that list. Derefield also went 7-0 this week, and he is currently ranked number 2 in his weight class in 3A. And someone else looking to make history, Waukon High School girls basketball coach needs one more win until he reaches 1,000. Coach Gene Klein currently has an impressive record of 999 and 237 in 51 seasons. If he gets one more win, he will become the first coach in Iowa history to reach 1,000 for a career. He will try to get that win tonight when the Indians face New Hampton at 7:30 p.m. Coming up on Good Morning Waverly, it's a little difficult to make a snowman in Iowa right now, but in other parts of the country, they're having better luck. Plus,
me and my sister, we have a past.
We'll tell you about a movie that puts a darker twist on a childhood favorite. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
How do you best kill a witch?
Cutting off her head tends to work.
Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters is out in theaters today. The movie takes place 15 years after the kids' first trip to the gingerbread house. Jeremy Renner and Gemma Ayrton star in this children's story turned witch hunt thriller as Hansel and Gretel.
So maybe not one you want to take the kids to.
Not necessarily a children's film. No, I saw the commercial and I was like, oh, that's an ironic twist on Hansel and Gretel. Yeah. I guess I never thought that's what happened to them 15 years later. So,
who knew?
Who knew?
That was not in the book. A California man was giving out free hugs on Monday. David Parsons was setting out to break a world record for the number of hugs given in one day. The world record by one person is 8,709, set in 2010. Parsons was raising money for a nonprofit organization, Grant's Wishes, that helps children with cancer. He didn't quite break the record, but he did give out over 3,000 hugs.
Now take a look at this. It's a 15-foot snowman 5 friends in Vermont built this giant Frosty on the side of the road. Instead of eyes made out of coal, the giant snow sculpture has beef jerky cans. The mouth is also made of Brillo pads. If more snow falls, the snowman's creators say they will make Frosty even bigger.
That's crazy. That's a huge snowman.
It is a huge. We definitely don't have enough snow around here. I don't even know if we did, if I would have the ambition to build something quite like that.
Just 5 people.
That would definitely take a lot of time, I guess you could say, but probably interesting for all those people driving by. I think I would enjoy that on my way, to work in the morning or something.
Well, Kelsey, with the snowfall this weekend, could we build snowmen?
I don't think we're going to see any weather or snow expected. Maybe actually we might see them on Sunday. We can go ahead. I know today we're not going to see any. We'll see the high around noon in the lower 20s. It's going to cool off a little bit after that at 3 p.m. We can go ahead and take a look at what we can expect this weekend. Saturday, we won't see any of that snow like we discussed. It'll be a high of 21 degrees. Now, Sunday, we do have about a 60% chance for that wintry mixture. It is slightly below freezing, so there is that slight chance of freezing rain, so just be careful of those driving conditions. Will be a little slick out, but then Monday, it's going to warm up a little bit, 36 degrees. So, we'll be okay there. Might just get some rain then. So it's gonna stay wet, but hopefully it won't freeze. So
and don't forget to check out Waverly's first Snow Fest this weekend. The events again are canceled tonight, but tomorrow night should be fun.
They should be good to go tomorrow. So, all right.
And that's all the time we have for today. Be sure to tune in Monday night at 8 for WTV News and Sports Night on Tuesday at 8.
Have a good morning, Waverly.